Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Riely and Friends channel, folks. Got a new type of video for you today. Gonna start doing these regularly. Some manga discussion, specifically starting with a series that a good friend recommended me. A good friend you might see right next to me right now. Hi, Jason. What's up?
Where? Where is he?
I don't know. Where could he be?
Is he right
The
behind you? There's something behind you! Oh, got you, look. Holy shit, your hairline.
What do you mean my hairline? What's wrong with my
Huh?
hairline?
What? Who said anything about a hairline, bro?
How dare you say that about me?
I didn't say anything. You can't
But
prove it.
but all right, Jason. They can see the title, but for those who are, I guess, blinds, and also just for the sake of the show, tell us what manga we're reading today, and what it generally means to you, and why it's the manga we chose to cover here.
Today, you're going to be discussing most people consider to be the best manga, period. But shut up, I need to turn myself on a do not disturb mode, hold on. Sorry. The best manga, period. Berserk by Kentaro Miura. Now, Berserk was the first manga I ever read. I've been into anime. I'm a huge fan of anime. I'm a weeb, And then I was like, maybe I should get into this manga stuff.
Yeah, these anime books look pretty interesting.
And then I decided to ruin all other manga by reading the best one first. So,
No. Well, I mean, at least you got something out of Vinland Saga.
True. I keep saying this. Berserk and Vinland Saga are like tied for me, and also I do think Soul Eater's manga is actually better. But shh, we don't talk about that. Shh.
Wait, Soul Eater's manga is better than Berserk or better than the anime? Hey, Soul Eater.
Better than both to me personally. It's just like I know that Berserk is better in terms of like quality and art and everything, but I just personally like Soul Eater more. But that's just because I'm biased because I love the anime so much. But I digress. Berserk is a very special series to me because it's just so good, and like you can learn a lot from it, like despite how like dark and bloody and violent it is, and it's just absolutely fucking great. And do you mind if I give a little bit of a history to the manga, or like how Kentaro Miura was doing shit?
You can, but real quick, I do want to say to the audience and to you, I've made a critical error. So what I've realized is I'm the one recording the cameras here. That was not originally the plan, but then I remembered that Jason's OBS sucks, so I took the initiative. But what I realized is my initial plan was to have my notes on my computer screen on Discord, because that's where they are. They're in my one-person Discord group chat, and now I can't do that. So I guess I'm gonna have to like prop my phone up against my laptop screen and have my notes that way. But anyway, if you wanna give that history, please go ahead.
So Kentaro Miura, not much is actually like known about him. He's a very just like he's not like privative. He just like doesn't do stuff. He's a shut-in basically. He's always been a shut-in. But all we know is that even from a young age, he was very talented at making art. And he landed a job assisting for a manga. I hope this is the right name, called The King of Wolves, under the tutelage of like that manga author. But he was fired for being too good.
Wait,
like the manga author was like straight up just like, bro, your art is just like too good. Stop working for me. Make your own stuff, bro. Achieve your dreams.
That's pretty based of him to not continue to utilize Miura's skills for himself.
Yeah, and then Miura was like, okay, and then he made a prototype chapter of Berserk, which we actually won't see for a while. It is on the list for the totally legit manga site we're on, Viz Media app.
Yep. No. Is Berserk even published by Viz Media?
I don't know. Actually, do you know? But anyways, he did that, and then after refining his skills a little bit more, he made Berserk, and in 1989, yeah. And then he died, unfortunately, in 2021. And now the manga has been picked up by his close friend, Koji Mori, who is also a manga author. He made the manga Holy Land. And yeah.
Wait, I thought Mira died this year.
Last year.
What
May
the
2021.
fuck? 2022 has gone by like a fucking time warp. I've noticed this in several places.
It's October, bro. We're almost done with 2022.
There are conversations I had in January that I remember like I had them a month ago. It's fucking insane. Every time I've had so many moments where I look back on something that happened what I thought was recently and was actually months ago or even last year.
Anyway, yeah, we're dealing with Berserk. It's really cool. This episode, we're going to be talking about the first 8 chapters, aka the Black Swordsman Arc, the entirety of it. Black Swordsman Arc is the first of the 5 major arcs of Berserk. And also, because it's 8 chapters, it's the shortest, and don't be misguided. The next arc won't be like 12 chapters. The next arc is like 120.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the first
Why does the Black Swordsman arc even count as its own arc if it's only 8 chapters?
Because the next chapter after Black Swordsman starts the Golden Age arc, which is basically the backstory, which is like, I say backstory, but it's like the real start of Berserk. Think of this as like a prologue, but it's still like completely canon and important to the story.
Does this take place like in the future from the Golden Gate arc?
Yeah, the Golden Age is basically just the entire
Golden
like
Gate, fuck.
Golden Gate.
the Golden Gate Age Bridge arc.
The Golden Age arc is basically Guts' entire backstory. Like, slight spoilers, but Chapter 9, aka Chapter 1 of the Golden Age arc, literally starts with Guts' birth. And we follow him. And we follow him until the status quo of like where we are right now with Black Swordsman.
I imagine it's paced a little better than you're currently describing.
Oh, it's a lot of people consider it to be the best arc. They're wrong. Lost Children is, but we'll talk about Golden Age when we get there. But don't worry, Riley. It's good. It's really good. It's the only arc that's been adapted somewhat good. Hello?
I smelled something. I want to make sure there was not a fire in the kitchen.
So, are we ready to actually get into this? Oh, wait,
Sure.
wait. I lied. Hold on, something else. Do you know, real quickly, the prototype, I say prototype, the chapters we are reading right now, do you know why they're numbered all weirdly?
No, I was going to ask you about that, actually.
I learned this very recently. It's because from when it transitions from chapter 0P to chapter 1, that's when Miura switched publishing companies.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. All right, I just want to get that out of the way. But yeah, I'm ready now.
It's time to talk about the first 8 chapters of Berserk. So I don't know if you remember the exact contents of each chapter, Jason.
I reread them.
Okay, well, I meant like enough to like go chapter by chapter, even though I do not remember where chapters
now
begin
on my
and
second
end.
manga.
Oh,
I have them right
okay.
now on my second. You can actually see Guts fucking a demon in the glare of my glasses.
Hell yeah. We're gonna get age restricted for the glare of demon sex in Jason's glasses.
Hell yeah.
But no, alright,
Keep it
chapter 1 does start with Guts having sex with a strange demon woman and then killing her.
Well, yeah, but honestly, this is a perfect opening because 1, who the fuck wouldn't be captivated by that? What's going on? What's this guy's deal?
What's going on? I want to know more about why he's fucking and murdering demon chicks.
He's fucking a normal chick, and the chick is like, yes, I'm secretly a demon, and I'm gonna eat you. And then Guts is like, I knew all along, and this was a trap. And then he kills the demon. Or as Guts says, the only one who's trapped is you, bitch.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
And then you get kaboom automatopoeia, and then he puts on his like cloak and walks away as the corpse is burning.
Wait, what a sick introduction to Guts. Guts is like The thing about Guts is like I'm sure we get like deeper shit with him, but right now, throughout these past 8 chapters,
Guts is like the most developed character, period, of any piece of
good.
media.
But through the 8 chapters so far, my impression of Guts is similar to the impression I had of characters like Shadow the Hedgehog at age 12. He's bringing back that feeling in me where I'm just like, he's just so cool. He's so fucking cool.
Black Swordsman Guts is just incredibly edgy. So this is like the first 8 chapters will probably discourage a lot of people. Understandably, it's very edgy, even compared to like, because in Golden Age, you know, we see Guts like why he is the way he is, but here we just see him like be edgy for no reason. But I also think this is a great like first few panels, because this is your face is so funny right now. Because
what's wrong with my face?
But
I keep smelling fire and becoming paranoid that it's in my house, but there's like a 0% chance that it is.
No, that's crazy. Hey,
Jason
don't go in the back.
Sees like the flame forming behind me. No, you're good.
I'm the one who started this fire. But I think it's a great start to the manga, because it's also is like a warning, like, hey, you can't handle this?
Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
Berserk, especially the earlier chapters, is known for being like very graphic, very violent, it talks about a lot of mature subject matters, like
there's a whole lot of crazy gore, a whole lot of swearing, a whole lot of titties too. That gave me a smile.
But also it discusses a lot of like mature subject matter. Sometimes there are times where I think, yikes, this could have been this seems a little bit sus, but it is a good, like, if you can't handle mature subject matter, don't read Berserk. But if you can, then you will come out of this experience with a more profound message than you would ever expect.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see where this goes, because right now, the Black Swordsman arc was epic.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like deep epic. It was like, oh, it's cool. He's swinging his sword around his shit. Yeah.
The plot of Black Swordsman is basically just a monster of the week storyline, basically.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I like went to write that down in my notes and then forgot. Where it felt a lot like a monster of the week type setup, and I'm like, I'm sure that the entire manga is not like this, because Jason wouldn't love it so much if it was. But this is kind of a based feel for the early chapters.
Yeah. Well, because when the Black Swordsman arc was being made, Miura had no idea what like he was doing in terms of like he had no plan for the plot. And then when Golden Age came around,
he started making it before he knew what he was doing with it.
Yeah, and he like set up shit that he had no idea what he was going to do with. But when it came time to do Golden Age, he like actually did plan out stuff, and like he didn't even go back on anything in Black Swordsman. Like he keeps that all in the canon too, which is based.
He just went into the drawing room. He's like, all right, I got this guy named Guts. He's edgy.
Fucking
he's
monster.
Got a big sword, and I've got this little elf who wants to be his friend, but Guts doesn't like him. And then I'm gonna make a story up as I go along. And then he picked his pen up and he started writing.
But then he did actually start making plans and shit, and it turned out to be really good. But anyways, shall we continue on with the plot line? Because I feel like we're I want to get ahead of ourselves, but there's a lot to cover.
All right, let's go.
How about, can we do instead of like going scene by scene, let me describe like the entire chapter 1 and then we can talk about it. Is that good?
Sure, however you want to do it.
I just think it would be better. But basically, then chapter 1, Guts wanders into a town, he wanders into a bar, and this is where we're introduced to Puck. He's an elf, he's getting tortured. Elves are like tiny little guys in this story, and they have wings, and they don't have clothes. They're
literally fairies, and I don't know why they called them elves and not fairies.
Well, because in certain mythologies, elves look different.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. Sure.
But anyways, the elf is getting Puck is getting a little, he's getting teased. He's about to get a throwing knife to the heart or whatever. But then Guts steps in and is like, "What's up, bitch?" And then he kills everybody who's annoying in the bar. Annoying people. What
was Puck like? Like they had enslaved him or something?
They they basically the people who are messing with him robbed Puck
Yep.
was traveling with like a traveling caravan of freaks. Hold on, I dropped something. I'm trying to get it with my feet. Okay. He was traveling with a traveling caravan of like freaks, and I say freaks, but like kind of like a entertainment thingy traveling group. But they were robbed, and all of them were killed except for Puck, and they decided to keep Puck and just like mess with him because for fun.
Just for fun.
Yeah. But then Guts steps in, he kills all the people and leaves one alive and is like, yo, I know your boss, he's the guy at Coca Castle. Do me a favor, tell him the Black Swordsman is coming to town. Guts is also known as the Black Swordsman, which is just a dope name. And then he leaves because he never actually meant to help Puck. He just wanted to deliver that message. And then Puck is like, hey, thank you. I'm gonna help you. And Guts is like, fuck you. I don't like you. Go away.
Yeah, get fucked. Get out of here.
Yeah. And then he gets captured by like the town militia, and then he's tortured. But then he breaks out because Puck helped him, even though he was being mean. And then he fights the guy who's the head of Coca Castle, who turns out to be a demon. And he like destroys the entire fucking town, both him and Guts, and none of them care. And then Guts like ends up fucking killing the guy and walking away. And then Puck at the end literally just says, "Whoa, Berserk."
He does. He literally does.
Which I think is funny, but that's the basic
sounds like
gist
a
of the
meme.
plot.
Like if you showed me that out of context before I read Berserk, I probably would have thought that was a meme edit.
That's like the one line in the entire manga that I'm like,
whoa, Berserk.
The word Berserk is used in this manga a lot, but like that's where it's like the most out of place. Like you could have just said, like,
wow, he really went Berserk
else.
There.
Wow, he really is a Berserk Volume 1. But that's the basic gist of Chapter 1. I want to focus on Chapter 1 because A, it's the first chapter, and B, it's really fucking long. It's 98 pages. But I want to focus more on Puck and Guts' relationship real quickly.
I love their cute little frenemy relationship. It's great.
Basically, Puck feels like so grateful that he wants to follow around Guts and like help him, but Guts is like, fuck off. I'm a lone wolf. And then and also we learned something in one of their interactions. Guts does not like being touched.
Yeah. Guts does not. You touch him, he's no.
He has a very visceral reaction to being touched. He says, "Don't touch me, I'll squash you."
And I think I know the reason why from a certain meme that I've shared around.
Shut up. We don't talk about that yet. But this was like a great like area. Like, okay, ooh, he's got more going on. He really doesn't like being touched, and like because like if he was just like, "Don't touch me," but like he has such a visceral reaction. Even later on, like in the Black Swordsman arc, someone like grabs his shoulder. He's like, "Don't you fucking touch me."
Yeah, that's when I really started to notice. Like with Puck, I thought he was just like annoyed because he's a stupid little elf. But then with that other guy, it was so visceral. I was like, okay, there's something here. And then I immediately made the connection to the thing we're not talking about yet.
Yeah. But like there are so many seeds that are planted in the Black Swordsman arc, and the payoff is so good. Also, the Dragon Slayer, that's the name of Guts' sword.
Yo, it's so sick.
Dude, I need to hold on. Where's the fucking copy pasta? It was much too big to be called a sword. Massive, thick, heavy, and far too rough. Indeed, it was like a raw heap of iron. Basically, thing's big, it's heavy, it's fucking awesome.
It shouldn't. No normal human being could wield such a thing as a sword. But
later on in the story, we learn that's like 400 pounds.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and
but
even
it obviously has a lot of force behind it. He like cuts people clean in half through armor and shit.
Dude, and it's fucking based. And also, like, it's not like some stupid like anime, like, oh, I'm wielding this 800-pound massive fucking steel like a butter knife. No, like, you can tell by the art, there's weight behind his swings. And
for
also,
sure,
like,
he's definitely a heavy fighter. He's not just like a fucking like twirling it around like it's a fucking thing
But-
to be twirled around.
Yeah, and also the thing I also love is that its design is simplistic, and also people like even like comment like, "Whoa, how the fuck is he wielding something that massive?" Like, it's not like I hate the anime tropes of like I'm able to wield this massive sword like a butter knife. Berserk, like the guy wields a massive sword, but it's so like well done because like it's so realistic, and again, there's like actual weight behind his swings.
To be fair, I do like that as like a trope to emphasize a character's having super strength as a power, where they wield a weapon really proficiently and you find out it's really heavy. I do like that as a trope, but I also like how this is portrayed, where you can tell like he's struggling through it. Like there's real weight behind his swings, but he's fucking
Not struggling
he's getting
through it.
No, not struggling, but like he's obviously having to put
You
in
also-
effort.
You also have to take into account he doesn't even have like one real arm. One of his left arm is like completely metallic. He's missing an arm, by the way.
Does Guts
Oh my-
have superpowers, or is he just like
No,
really strong?
he's just really strong. That's also one of my favorite things about Guts that we learned. He's like the most overpowered human character in like all of manga. And I say human as in like just like a real ass dude. A real G.
Yeah, there's no like mystical element behind his strength. Then he's just like
No,
trained really
he-
hard.
He's not magic. He's just a tough motherfucker.
That's pretty
like,
based. That's
That's all,
sick.
yeah. And also his metal arm, dope as shit. All right, let's look at the pros.
Holy
Hidden
shit!
hidden crossbow on the arm, and it's a repeating crossbow. Fucking goes crazy. And then the hand comes off, and the little string comes out, and he pulls it, and it's a fucking cannon in his arm, and it's based.
All right, Jason. Okay. So when I read manga, or like any comic books, really, I have a very hard time paying full attention to the visuals, and that's what I kind of struggle with reading manga, because it's hard to pay attention to all of it at once. And one of those issues is I did not realize Guts had a metal arm. I thought he just had a crossbow on his not metal arm.
Wait, you didn't know that Guts was? It's literally like in the volume cover, like he has his metal arm taken
Yeah,
off.
I scrolled super fast to buy the volume cover because I was getting to the content of the manga.
Yeah, but in like chapter like 5, you also see him like preparing to go storm a place, and he takes his arm off.
My bad. It was late. There's a reason
Okay.
why I took notes, and that particular detail is something I missed.
He's missing his left arm and his right eye. That's also a thing. He's missing his right eye.
Oh shit!
Yeah. In the prototype chapter, Guts wears an eye patch. But
Honestly, I think they should have stuck with that.
no, because then we don't get the cool panels where his face goes all dark and you just see like a white blot where his eye is. Well, his one good eye is. Those panels are sick.
You would still get those panels. It doesn't matter that he's wearing an eye patch on his bad eye. You would still get the one good eye in the shot.
Yeah, and we also learned that like Guts, he's stacked. He has so many like hidden throwing knives, little cherry bombs. He has just so much weaponry.
He has quote like enough weapons to start a war.
Yeah,
like on his own.
Yeah, he is like filled. The dude's strapped. What can I say? Like, he is ready to.
My man is
just
fucking
kill.
strapped.
Yeah. And like he's even so terrifying to the demons. And the demons in Berserk are like, they're fucking scary, bro. They look like normal humans, but they eat humans. And then when they're like, you haven't even seen my true form, they're not lying, because then they turn into like some grotesque looking ass monster.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this first chapter was really cool. The art style of Berserk is so fucking good. Like every frame of painting, for real.
Dude, okay, that's another thing I want to discuss. Kentaro Miura, he's just a god when it comes to drawing. His art is so good, and if you think it's good now, wait until Golden Age. From like chapter 8 to chapter 9, there's a huge boost in the quality of art. It's like and it only gets better as it goes on.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because this looked really fucking good.
Until Koji Mori picks up the manga, but shh. It's okay. He's doing his best.
How many chapters are left before Miura's backlog has been seized?
At chapter 364, that's the last chapter that Miura made.
Okay. Is that already out?
Yeah, we're waiting for chapter 370, which is coming out later this month.
Well, how's the other guy's art?
It's good, but it is really good, but it's just not, it's not Mira.
It's not Mira. You can't reach that level.
That's true. You just can't. I also love how so manga is done with like ink, like a pen and ink, but the first few pages of every chapter is done with like a charcoal drawing. Those look so fucking sick.
Oh, I was wondering what that was. It looked cool, but I was like, what? Why is it so like blurry and shit? And then not anymore.
Charcoal is like the hardest thing to like do a good drawing with. I as someone who has drawn with charcoal, it sucks. I hate it. It's
I remember I think we
weird.
I worked with charcoal in my 6th grade art class, and I do not remember it being too convenient to draw with. No.
No, it's really not fun at all. I hate charcoal so much.
But yeah, the art style is really sick. I'm just trying to start to go through my notes so we can move on to chapter 2. So art style is really cool. There's a scene, I believe it's this chapter. Is it this chapter where Puck like reads Guts' emotions?
Which one? 1 or 2?
Yeah, 1.
Actually, in both. Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Elves can feel the emotions of other people.
Yeah, I know that. I just thought it was very amusing.
I'm saying that for the audience.
Yeah, I got it. I thought it was very amusing that he read Berserk's about, or that I called him Berserk.
That's his last name. His name is Guts Berserk.
The Guts Berserk. So, Puck reads Guts' emotions, and he's like, is this anger or hatred or some shit? He's like, no, it's something beyond that. And I'm like, wow, he's just like, this is Al the Edge moment. Just like, it's beyond hatred. It's beyond that. It's something more.
But then you read Golden Age and you're like, wow, yeah, I can understand why he would feel something beyond rage and hatred.
He's true ambivalence toward good and evil.
I'm not joking. Like, once you read Golden Age and you reread Black Swordsman, you're like, holy shit, this makes everything like so much more sense. We're seeing this arc with very different lights because I have all the context. But yeah, chapter 1, great chapter. It really hooks you in well.
Yeah, very good. Also, this kind of applies to all the chapters, but it's a conclusion I immediately came to. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
One more thing. Guts asks, once he defeats like the big bad of the chapter, this guy, this like snake demon, he says, where are they? Where are the God Hand? So we know who he's after.
Oh.
So the demon has some sort of tie to this group known as the God Hand, the members of the God Hand, and Guts is looking for that. But then the demon is like, not even I can say that. Not even I know that. I'm too low rank, or like some shit like that. I can't find the exact panel. And then also, Guts' brand.
Yes, he's got the brand on his neck.
It's called the Brand of Sacrifice, and we don't know much about it right now, but just know that's very important, and that the demon recognized it and is like, oh, goddamn.
Oh, he's got the thing. He do be gotten the thing though. So yeah, this conclusion I drew about Guts very amusingly. I drew it right away, and the other chapters having that Monster of the Week vibe really just bolstered my claim. Mm-hmm. Guts is literally a traveling murder hobo, and I love that for him. It's so fucking good. Yeah, he just goes around from town to town and just commits several murders, and just moves on.
Hey, to be fair, he's only trying to kill bad people, but if a good guy gets caught in the crosshairs, he will not care.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's a bad guy, like a bad guy. He's not out murdering people for fun. He's murdering people with a purpose. But the fact he's literally just this guy who does it. He's a hobo, and he travels around and he commits murder.
Man of the streets.
He's a traveling murder.
They were doing a fighties with their mouthies.
I've always loved that phrase, traveling murder hobo. I've heard it somewhere before, and I've always loved it ever since I heard it. Yeah, and that's who Guts is. He's a traveling murder hobo.
He is a traveling murder hobo. It's really amusing to think of it like that, but yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess, that's actually, you're not wrong at all.
And also, I tried to bring this up like while you're doing your chapter summary to like make a joke, but You steamrolled right past me, which is fine. You were supposed to. You completed your job as somebody who was not supposed to be interrupted and ignored me entirely. But the Black Swordsman is a name that I have heard before in a much lesser series.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Which I was very interested. I didn't know it came from this. And obviously Guts is a much better Black Swordsman than Kirito from Sword
I'm
Art
the
Online.
Black Swordsman. And Guts just stepped in. No, you're fucking not.
No, fuck you. Yeah, shut the fuck up, kid.
Yeah. I'm glad that now you have read this, you now realize.
Now I know who the true Black Swordsman
insulting it is. When
I was
fucking pretty boy is called the Black Swordsman.
And if the audience is curious about what amazing epic joke they missed out on, what I attempted to do was when you said that Guts killed the guy and asked him to send a message that the Black Swordsman was coming, I was gonna like put on a voice and be like, Kirito?
Kirito, he's coming. Asuna. Yeah.
All right, it's time to move on to chapter 2. I think.
Yeah. Should we do the same routine?
Yep.
We start with Puck going into the woods, trying to find Guts, and then he finds him. And Guts is like, he's very injured from the fight, and he's just like, "Shut the fuck up, bitch! You're annoying." And then Puck gets mad and leaves, and then Guts is like still just kind of walking along, and then it starts raining, and then he comes across this fucking I forget what they're called, caravans, I think. Horse carriage. That's it. He comes across this horse carriage, and then led by some old man. He's like, "Hey, do you need a ride?" And he's like, No, leave me be. There's more trouble if you're traveling with me. But the old man's like, "Please, I insist." So he ends up doing it, and hey, look who's there, Puck. But he was there first, so he's not gonna leave. But then the caravan,
that was funny.
Horse, yeah.
I was here first. Fuck you.
Yeah. And then they have a bit of a philosophical conversation that we'll get into in a second with everybody in the carriage. There's also a little girl. And then Guts has a nightmare that introduces a very important factor. And then and then they get attacked by a bunch of skeletons, and then everybody fucking dies except Guts and Puck. But Guts is like, he's still stonewalling, like, shut the fuck up, bitch. I don't care. And then he moves on. And also we get a cool fight scene where Guts is fighting a bunch of skeletons. But I actually do want to go. Also, sorry that chapter 1 analysis was so like long, but it was the first chapter and it introduced a lot of things. We'll probably be quicker now that we've gotten everything.
Yeah, my goal for this show is we're going to be covering 3 chapters per episode normally.
Yeah.
And my goal is like 10 to 15 minutes of like discussion per chapter. So this one will probably.
This one's just going to be longer. Yeah, this one's going to be longer purely because it's the first like thing. There's a lot to talk about, like a lot to introduce.
For sure. So this chapter fucking killed me.
Oh, hold on. Before we get to that, I just want to say we learn some more about Guts' personality. He says, "It pisses me off when I see weaklings. I feel like I want to crush them. They can't do a thing on their own. All they ever do is talk and buzz around. People like flies. It makes me want to squash them." He's saying that to Puck when he's like, "Fuck off."
Yeah. And Guts like resents weakness, and it makes sense what we learn later about like him proving like humanity's strength over demons. That like the weak humans just like piss him off.
Imagine misreading. It's not. I don't blame you, but you're missing out on the context. But and then later in the like traveling horse carriage, we learned that the old man driving it had a son who went off to war and he died. But Guts is like, he was probably happy doing what he did, like he was doing what he wanted to do in life, so he probably died happy. I would rather do that than be safe.
Which is
like we learned that
based. Which
honestly, I respect that kind of like that way of thinking. Like he's just like thinking live and let live, And like honestly, fucking based. I think that's really cool. Like no matter what, he was doing what he wanted, no matter what, right? I bet he was happy. Of course, once you die, that's it. Nothing comes after that. Nothing at all. Which literally is not true.
And he
We later
knows that
learned.
it's not
We
true.
later learned that hell is a thing. He also, I think it's funny that he calls the Dragon Slayer just like a thing for cooking, like a griddle. when he's asked about it, he just calls it.
Oh
He's
yeah,
just
he's like, yeah, I cook
it's
on
my
this.
cutting board and my
It's my
griddle.
cutting board.
But more importantly, Guts falls asleep on the carriage, and we get a nightmare sequence. And this is very important
Oh
because we are
shit!
introduced to like this little fucking, I don't even know it's a
This
like
little
canonical name.
weird fetus demon.
Pretty sure it's literally just called the Demon Child, but it's something that haunts Guts in his nightmares. I'm pretty sure we actually see it in chapter 1 as well. But this thing scares Guts. Like we see him visibly fearful whenever we see this thing. It scares the shit out of him. And it taunts him in his nightmare anyway. But when it actually does appear, not in the nightmare, it like taunts him as like you cannot escape. But outside of but in the real life, when he does see that demon child, it says nothing. It just kind of like stares at him and he's just like, get the fuck away from me. And then it just fucks off. Now, I'm not going to tell you why it's very important, but it is a very important thing. So important that it is still relevant to the current chapters.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's fucking important. And the reason why Guts is scared of it is actually very sad. But then he wakes up and then they come across a forest and then we see Guts's brands to start bleeding. And then we learn that the reason why it sucks to travel with Guts is because that brand literally attracts demons. Like it literally draws them to his brand.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that.
And when demons are nearby, the brand starts bleeding. And the more powerful the demon, the more painful and bloody the brand will get.
He's literally got like the ghost breath from Danny Phantom.
For real, like, unironically. Except it's done way cooler.
Well, yeah, he starts bleeding.
And then the horse freaks. And then the horses freak out, and the little girl in the carriage steps out to calm them down. And then Guts is like, "No, you fucking idiot!" And then she gets stabbed and dies.
Oh, it hurt.
By the skeletons.
It hurt, bro. And then she got possessed by a demon and killed by Guts.
And then she got possessed by a demon and killed the old man. And then
she de-heads the old man, and then Guts fucking slices her.
But real quickly, I do want to say there's a lot of world building in this chapter. We learn about the brand, we learn about different types of demons, we learn that the skeletons are like coming alive because the vengeful spirits are still around and they possess the skeleton when they sense the brand. So like, it's like really cool to learn about that shit. And we also learn about like because the nightmare he was having was caused by like a demon who like feeds off of negative energy in dreams. So like, but that was also meant like there's a lot of people dead nearby because this thing is attracted by that. And like there's a lot of world building. It's really cool. We also learn that this is like a medieval world that's not used to like monsters and shit, but they exist.
Oh, okay. They're not used to it, but they're there. They're around.
It's like it's not common knowledge, you know. There's outside of that, it's a very like realistic, like Britannia-esque setting in like 1200s or 1600s maybe. Let's just go with 1400s, just a good middle road. It's ambiguous, like the exact time saying, but it's like it's medieval times. That's all you need to know. But also, when Guts is about to fight the skeleton, we see him go berserk, like. Like his face goes all black except for like the white of his eye, which is like just fucking sick, and he just goes ham with the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, he fucking goes off. It's insane.
It's absolutely
those skeletons
crazy.
did not know it was coming.
I know.
They never knew that from the very beginning.
Man, I hope that this shut the fuck up. Man, I really hope that this scene gets animated properly and not with shitty CGI and sound effects. Also, and then the girl gets possessed, and actually, we learn something. So Guts is not the entire edgelord he seems, because when the girl is like the possessed corpse of that dead girl is coming towards him with a sword, clearly intent to stab. Guts, the only thing Guts sees is like a cute, innocent young girl, and he hesitates and gets stabbed.
Oh no!
And then he snaps out of it and cuts her clean in half. But even then, after that, after that he vomits out of like disgust.
Yeah,
So
I mean, who
this is
wouldn't? That's gross.
so this is something I want to mention. This is the first like hint of foreshadowing, and also like after the fight, Guts, like his face seems very distressed.
Uh,
This
oh,
is the first
Guts.
foreshadowing of Guts. Like you can tell his edginess is an act. He's not really like this. He is just pretending, because if he lets himself, be a person, that's how he gets eaten alive in this cruel world he lives in. Literally eaten alive.
Yeah.
And then like he quickly snaps, and then after Puck is like, Guts, it wasn't your fault. He quickly like starts laughing. He's like, aha, you're absolutely right. They were weak. Ha 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 ha. And then he walks away. But
That was fucking crazy.
that was an
just like, ha ha. That's right.
But like it's so well done, because like the thing I love about Berserk is that the characters feel so real. Like if I like, that is a way like someone would like try and brush off what he just went through, trying to pretend like this is just another day in the life, this is totally normal, don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it.
Better man than me. I might think about it quite often if I had to slice a little girl in half.
Yeah. And then, oh, and also after the fight, he's taunted by other demons hiding in the trees. So long as you have the brand, you cannot run from us. And then also they chant sacrifice whenever they're near him. And the brand is called The Brand is a Sacrifice. And then he moves on, and that's the end of the chapter.
There you
But
go.
it's cool. Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, I freaked the fuck out when Colette died. I started typing in my notes in all caps. I was like, no.
Wait, does she have a name?
Yeah, it was Colette.
Oh, I don't. You know more than me.
Wow. But yeah, Colette, she was so sweet and wholesome. And then she got absolutely murdered. It was not cool. It was not cool, bro.
First she got impaled by a spear, and then she got cut clean in half. But, yeah, it fucking sucks. And then we move on to chapter 3, which takes up, like, that's, like, the main plot for the rest of the Black Swordsman arc.
Okay.
Which is, where we are introduced to, like, the Count and all that.
Yes, our good friend the Count. Love that guy.
I think if we went through the plot here, we would be here forever. So can we just assume that everybody read it?
Well, like go for speed. Like skip unimportant shit, just like speed.
Okay, Guts wanders into a town. The dude ruling it, he's called the Count. He's basically a tyrannical ruler. Everybody is fearful now, even of each other. And then Guts comes into town and threatens him, and there's a manhunt for him, but he manages to like get away and run away. And then he comes across this weird egg called the Behelit, and it's very important, but we'll get into that later. And then he storms the fucking castle, and then a bunch of stuff happens, and then we learn that the Count does have a human side to him. He has a daughter who he cares for very much, but Guts doesn't give a shit. He kills the Count, but then the daughter's like, no, and then the Behelit activates, and then they go to hell for a second, and they meet the God Hand, and then Guts goes into literally loses all sense of like fucking.
This didn't all happen in chapter 3.
Oh, I'm going through the entire like Guardians of the Desire thing, and then they go to hell, and then they see the God Hand, and Guts literally loses all sense of coherency and goes for this one guy who everybody calls Femto, but Guts calls him Griffith. And then the Count dies because the God Hand was like, Lamau. And then the daughter gets mad, and Guts is like, go ahead, kill yourself, little bitch. And then Guts cries. But we'll go into more in depth. I promise.
Okay.
But I want to talk about the Behelit now, because it's introduced this chapter. Behelit, first of all, cool ass design. It's basically an egg with a face.
It looks real trippy.
Yeah. And also it has 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth, but they move around. Like the more closer to activating the Behelit is, the more like coherent it becomes. But like for now, like there's the eye is here, the nose is here, the other eye is here, and the mouth is like here. It's like really weird. But also, it's alive. It's an alive thing. It doesn't do much. It just like occasionally opens its eyes to take a peek of its surroundings. Doesn't do much. But once it activates, it opens a fucking portal to hell where you meet the God Hand. But the Behelit is really fucking cool. And I also want to mention that this is important for later. Not important right now, but for later. Keep this in mind. The Behelit that Guts came across just then is gray. The color of it is gray. Keep that in mind. Alright? Mental note. It's important.
That's a surprise tool. It'll help us later.
It is. People really got confused because, spoilers, you come across a different colored Behelit and it's much more important. But shh, don't worry about it. But, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to spoil it.
No, hold on.
But we also learned that fucking Guts is actually, he's not just flinging his sword around. He is a skilled swordsman in this like few chapters. We also learned that.
Yeah, he fucking he's very skilled.
Like he actually takes like a proper sword stance and like quickly draws, and it's like really cool. So like we know he doesn't just like fling around the sword. He's like actually competent in fighting.
Yeah, he's not the black metal flinger. He's the black swordsman.
Yeah, like he's an actual swordsman, and like he like deflects these like lightning fast whip attacks from this weird demon guy. It's really cool. It's I love Berserk so much.
Yeah, Berserk is pretty sick.
I know, right?
It's very cool. This entire sequence is very cool. This whole collection of chapters really sold me on Berserk. I think like the first 3 chapters were a little bit hard to get through. That's why I never got into Berserk until we agreed to do this. Because I got up to like the first third of chapter 3 the first time I tried to read it, and then never picked it up again. And then me and you at one point did like a reading of chapter 3
we just
for
read
fun.
chapter 3 together, and then you're like, okay, I'm done.
And then I didn't read anymore. But I'm glad I have now, because chapters 4 through 8 definitely sold me, and like the back half of chapter 3 also, it all sold me.
Yeah. I want to know, what were your thoughts when it was like, oh, a Behelit, and then the chapter ended? What were your thoughts? Like, I want to know.
I was like, what the fuck is that thing?
Doesn't it look
And then
cool?
we learned what the fuck that thing is. It looks really sick. It looks really trippy. It kind of freaked me out a little bit.
I know. It's perfect. It's perfect, bro. I also want to talk about Vargas, the old man who helps Guts, old stubby little guy.
The stubby little Vargas man.
He was a guy who was wronged by the Count. Like, he was tortured, his family was killed, so he hides in like the sewers and is like, and then he's like, I will help you just as long as you kill that fucker. I don't care what happens. But like, fucking Guts like leaves right before like he is captured, and he's like, go help yourself, old man. I'm taking the Behelit with me. And Varga is just like, whatever, as long as you fucking avenge me. But later on, Guts thinks back to that moment and he like punches the wall out of anger. Again, he's more human than he seems. He like actually feels bad. And he even gets like angry like watching the old man die, because he knows that like if he tries to save him, that's just a trap.
Yeah, like Guts is like, I'm powerless to do anything, at least without risking my own hide very significantly. So I just kind of gotta let this happen.
Like, he's like, look in that fucking doorway. There are cajillion soldiers. I'm not fucking going there, bro. That guy is dead. And that even Puck tries to help him, but he gets captured. And then we're introduced to Theresia.
I read it as Theresia, but I might have been wrong.
The pronunciation of a lot of names in Berserk is the most debated thing among Berserk is the pronunciation of names.
I'm going with Theresia because I don't want to try to remember something else.
A lot of people say Gatsu instead of Guts because that for the longest time there was a mistranslation of his name where he's called Gatsu.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's but also sometimes Poke is called Poke, Pack, but it's Puck, and Guts.
Fucking Guts. On an adventure.
Yeah.
But the fight both fights, but specifically the second fight with Zondark, the night guy. Both very good
He
fights,
gets
but that's
temporarily possessed by a demon.
Yeah, that second one where he's doing like demon shit. He's been possessed by a demon. That fight went hard.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite fight so far in Berserk.
It's also where we
that.
get a showcase of Guts is actually like being a competent sword fighter.
Yeah, that's probably why I love it so much.
I like how you say the second fight, and even though there's technically a third, but it's like not even a fight, because Guts is like actually serious now, and he just like it's like shut the fuck up, and then kills him instantly. Do you even remember that?
No.
Zondar's like, aha, we meet again, Black Swordsman, and Guts literally just like unloads his entire crossbow and then cuts him clean in half.
Wait, yes, I do remember that. That was based.
It was actually kind of funny. But
wait, no, that was a different character.
No, it was Zondark, but he was at that point he was like totally possessed by the Count. That like the Count was like seeing
Jason,
and hearing
you're
everything.
wrong. I remember clearly, unless I'm wrong.
I'm on the chapter right now.
But I think what you're referring to is the character who like, fuck. Am I thinking of something different then?
You are thinking of something. It's Zondark possessed by the Count.
There's a knight character who somebody says like, you always bragged about how much stronger you were than Zondark, so go prove it and fight this guy, and then Guts fucking murders him.
Oh shit, I just thought that was Zondark, my bad, never mind.
Yeah, no, okay, I was right then. So yeah, it was a different guy. He's like, I'm stronger than Zondark, and then Guts just
my memory of Black Swordsman is hazy. I'm way
him.
more fond. Yeah, my memory of Black Swordsman is very hazy. I'm way more fond of Golden Age and the other arcs. And oh no, wait, hold on. Oh, that knight dude is separate. No, I was right. That was Zondark. And then later on, he sees this knight dude, and he just fucking cuts him clean in half.
Wait, what? Are you sure this is not another separate incident, and Zondark is not involved in either of them?
No, Zondark isn't. Zondark was like, as he's climbing like this watchtower, he comes across Zondark up this like staircase, and then he unloads his crossbow and cuts him clean in half and fucks off. And then later on, he's surrounded by all the soldiers, and then the like old dude helping the Count is like, you've always been stronger than Zondark, get him. And then Guts just cuts him clean in half.
Nah, yeah, you are right.
Yeah, look at that. God, it's nice to know I'm right. But the Count's daughter is very human, despite her father being a demon. And she says that her father was once a very nice man, but then some pagans killed her mother, and ever since then, father's been dark. So also we know that this is like during like, you know, when Christianity was like the big thing.
Also, we know it's a big fucking lie.
Yeah. I mean, well,
I guess a non-disclosed truth.
It's not the whole truth. But and also we learned that the Count was like so grief-stricken by his wife's death that he locked Thracia in her room for 7 years now, and is like, I will clean up this town of the filthy pagans. And that's why everybody in the town is like so fearful, because it's basically the Red Scare, but paganism.
The Red Scare?
Yeah. Do you not know what the Red Scare is?
Oh yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I compare it more to the Salem witch trials, but I guess.
Oh, that was probably a better comparison I could have made. Sorry, I was just thinking about communism because that stupid discussion we had in the group chat yesterday.
In the Issue Crew group chat, so subscribe to Issue Crew, everybody.
Even though we're not going to talk about that. And also Thracia becomes friends with Puck because, you know, Puck's a nice guy. He's friendly. Puck was originally not going to be a character, but then Miro was like, yeah, this story is really dark. I need to add some form of like comedic relief.
Well, specifically what happens with Puck and Thracia is after Puck is captured by the Count gives him to Thracia as a gift, like a pet.
Yeah.
And then they become
and they end
homies.
up bonding. Yeah. And then Puck like hears the destruction. Is like, I promise I'll come back for you, but I need to make sure Guts isn't like getting himself killed. But and then we see the fight between Guts and the Count, which is fucking based.
It is a pretty. All the fights are based. Like
it's not much of a fight though, because it's mostly just Guts getting like whacked around like a ragdoll, and then like at the very end he pulls a Uno reverse card. Oh, actually, no, he's a cruel motherfucker, bro. First of all, he gets rid, like he takes off his like cloak and like leaves it up, gives it to someone else, so that the Count like attacks that guy instead. Which that's funny.
That's fucking based.
But then Theresia like finds Guts and then Guts uses her as a hostage and like takes advantage of that to fucking kill him.
Yeah. So that shocked me too. The Guts literally took Theresia hostage. That was fucking. I was like, damn, Guts. Okay, I didn't know you were gonna go this hard.
Yeah, and he uses it, and he actually beats him. And like his arm is so beaten up that he just first of all, he is so strong that he can lift a 400-pound slab of iron with his mouth.
That is true. He used the sword with his mouth. Yeah, that's.
Well, actually, no. He's also lifting it up with his metal arm, but like he's using both, and he fucking cuts the Count's head off.
Yeah, that's pretty based.
Like the Count is still living. But Guts is like straight up like, I'm gonna torture you right in front of your daughter, you fucker. But then the Count's blood touches the Baylet.
Oh shit.
Oh boy, and this is where things get great. First of all, when we actually see the Baylet wake up, the art, oh, perfect. And then we're transported to this fucking painting, this Escher painting. You know that. Have you seen the painting that this like little like world is based off of?
No.
Okay, I'll send you a picture. But it was inspired by a painting from an artist called MC Escher. I think. Wait, hold on. Yeah. It's like this weird optical illusion where there's like basically a bunch of stairs everywhere, and it looks a lot like the realm we are currently in. Very influential painting. I'm trying to right-click save it as we speak.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what painting you're talking about just based on that description.
Oh shit. Wait, I'm on my computer. Okay, sorry, QuickTime. Oh, you're seeing nothing right now. You're seeing nothing right now. If you're going with my QuickTime recording. But yeah, I was inspired by that painting. And everybody and Guts.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
Yeah, Guts, Puck, Thesia, and the Count are all transported to this like weird dimension, and then Guts just starts fucking coughing up blood, and his brand like spews out blood like a fountain. So we know a big bad is.
Oh, he coming!
The big bad is here, and then we see the 5 members of the God Hand, and this is where we're introduced. These are like the big bads of Berserk. The God Hand.
Am I right to apply shonen logic to this and assume that the next arc he's gonna fight these people one by one?
No.
Really?
The next arc is the backstory.
Oh, well, I guess the next arc during that time.
I'm not gonna say.
Okay.
But I will say that Berserk is not a place for cliches.
Okay, fair enough.
But we are shown there are 5 members of the God Hand. Conrad, Ubik, Slan, Void, and Femto. And Guts calls Femto Griffith, and he's especially angry at that guy.
Griffith!
Yeah.
He goes crazy.
I just imagine like the most visceral scream. But first of all, I should mention that the God Hand themselves were inspired by the Cenobites of Hellraiser. Do you know what Hellraiser is?
Never seen anything Hellraiser related. Barely even could tell you what it was.
It's Pinhead.
Yeah, I that's what I thought. It's the Pinhead movies, but I've never seen them or know anything about them.
So it's a group of horror movies, but there's a group of like weird beings called the Cenobites, and they like look all weird and stuff. And Pinhead is one of them. And Mira got the design for the God Hand from the Cenobites, basically.
Are there any monsters in Hellraiser as hot as that demon chick? Because that demon chick was...
Slan?
I think that's who it was. The very obviously sexual female demon.
Her name is Slan. She is very much meant to be, you know, like lust, you know, sinful lust. But I want to talk about Femto / Griffith.
Okay. We know that she's a chick, right? That's what that like
no.
like the end. Wait. What do you mean no?
I know what you're talking about. We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
But we know that we have learned that like the God Hand have met Guts before, and it's like, oh look, that one's still alive. and then it's like, of course he would be mad at Femto. Femto is the one who gave him the brand of sacrifice. So we know that the brand of sacrifice, the bad thing that has ruined Guts' life, or one of the things that has ruined his life, was caused by Griffith, and everything else that Guts is like angry about is caused by Griffith, but we don't know exactly what yet. And also we know that Guts is still a tough motherfucker, because like everyone in the God Hand is like, he should straight up just be dead from like pure pain right now, but he's still like trying his best to just kill that motherfucker. And then Femto is just like, wow, you're kind of pathetic, bro. And then
Guts is like, no, I'm not. So I don't know if this is gonna be you accusing me of understanding the themes wrong again. Okay. But what I got from this particular I guess maybe not this sequence in particular, but just like what is started from this sequence and referenced in several other sequences throughout the rest of the plot, where the demons refer to humans as weak. And Guts like gives this like big speech about how he's a quote unquote weak human, but he's been fighting this hard and how he's not gonna lose. So Guts is like taking pride in the fact that he's human and that he's fighting these demons. He has pride in his flesh and blood, and he wants to prove that it does not make him too weak to defeat these demons.
I think that's what Mira was going for at the time, but later on it doesn't. It just becomes like, yeah, I'm a human, fuck you. And it's just like pure spite.
Fair, but I think there is a little bit of
the rest of
that.
This. It's given the context of the rest of the story. Guts is purely just saying that like out of spite. Like, yeah, you just got beaten by a human. How do you feel, you dumb bitch?
Okay.
But actually, there is a bigger theme that I want to. I'll give it a little hint about struggling, and I'm not going to talk much about it because it's a lot more important in Golden Age. But that's also the big theme. That's like the biggest theme of the story about struggling through life. That's sort of given here, but it's a lot more apparent in Golden Age. And then we see in like the start of chapter 8, there's a flashback sequence, sort of, where we see Guts and like some weird person in armor on a battlefield, and the person is like, "Hey, are you alive?" "Yeah, more or less. You sure have the luck of the devil." And then we see them like bond and talk, and then we see that weird person is actually Griffith / Femto.
Wow!
So we know that they were once friends. And I will tell you straight up right now, Griffith is a boy.
Oh.
But
okay.
it is actually like said, like, yeah, he looks very feminine, and like it's like commented on a lot.
You see, it's kind of hard to tell usually whether a character is female or if they're just like a boy with long hair in like a black and white medium like a manga.
Well,
how you can usually tell is she has very like obvious like lipstick lips. Like those are the kind of lips that you can see and be like, okay, that's a female character.
Yeah, those are only in like this chapter. When we see him in the Golden Age arc, he doesn't.
I mean, we don't even see those lips on like Griffith when he's fighting him in present day. We only see the lips when they reveal the comparison between this character and Griffith and reveal that they're the same person. We could very obviously see Griffith's very feminine lips, but I guess it's a boy.
Like, it's meant to be like he's a boy, but he looks a lot like a girl. Like you'll learn why later on, like why that's like kind of like an important thingy, sort of. But like, or maybe you won't. I don't know. But like, maybe you will miss the thing about
maybe this manga sucks, and they never address any of their plot points.
Well, no, maybe you'll miss the point of like Guts and Griffith meant to be like two sides of the same coin.
Ooh.
Ooh, you like that?
Ooh.
But yeah, that's all the Griffith stuff. Because after we get that, we just see Guts being mad at Griffith, but then the rest of the chapter is more about the Count and Thresia. So let's rewind a little bit. That's my rewinding noise.
Let's whip around and spin.
So when the Count is brought to like before the God Hand, the God Hand is like, bro, we already helped you in becoming a demon. What the fuck do you want? And the Count is like, can you help me? So we
Can
now
you help
learn
me not die real quick?
what the Behelit truly does. It's a portal to hell, basically, and it's and it brings you to the God Hand, and the God Hand say, we will grant you your one wish. And the Count was like, please let me live. I do not wish to die. And we then learned, but we learned that it comes at a heavy price, and that is a sacrifice.
Not just any sacrifice, mind you, but a sacrifice of a loved one.
Of like your most important thing, which in this case it was the Count's daughter. And so we now know that Guts was sacrificed by Griffith, and apparently to Griffith, Guts was a very important thing to Griffith.
Wow.
So we know, but also we know that if you sacrifice the thing, you get the brand of sacrifice, which attracts demons and like that causes them to just go like bloodthirsty after you. But
so the intent of the sacrifice is that immediately demons like consume you and you die. But Guts fights them off because he's epic.
Guts manages to survive every day. But also I like how the Count is like, yeah, I'll just sacrifice Guts. But then the God Hand's like, no. He means nothing to you, and also he's already branded L plus ratio plus Ripos. Oh.
L plus ratio. But then, okay, this is the wackiest sequence in this entire sequence of chapters we've read. Let me do this.
Yeah,
so,
go for it.
The demons reveal to Thresia that the story she knows about her mother is not entirely true. There's some things left out of it. So what we find out is the Count got cucked by a fucking goat demon. He was out hunting heretics, and then he came back to the castle, and there's this fucking goat demon having an orgy, and his wife is...
It's not a demon. It's a statue.
Oh. Wait, then why were people having sex with it?
It had a dick. It was a statue with a dick.
Fair enough. So a goat statue with a penis.
He came across a pagan orgy.
Yeah, he came across a pagan orgy, and his wife was just really getting into it on this goat statue, and that made him upset. He was not happy about it, and then he
killed
murdered everyone
yeah.
except for his wife, and then he's about to kill his wife, and then is like, no, I'm just gonna kill myself.
No, and then his wife is like, go ahead, do it. You don't have the balls.
Wow.
That shit's so like wow.
I didn't remember the exact text, but I do remember like the smirk and her being like, "Yeah, do it, bitch,
yeah, like
do it, pussy."
She smirked, and then the God Hand were like, "Yeah," and in her heart, she knew with that triumphant smile that she won this exchange, some shit like that. But what happened to be in the room was the Behelit.
Yep. The good old Behelit, and it was summoned, and the Count sacrificed his wife to become a demon devoid of feeling and all-powerful.
Yeah. Also, getting your wish granted, as a side effect, you're turned into a demon, which are, and the specific certain demons that are transformed into demons by the God Hand are called apostles. That's something to keep note of.
Okay.
And that's the main demon Guts is after. That's why he like doesn't pay too much attention to like those skeletons. The only reason he fought them was that because they were in his way. But then, you know, like there are other types of demons other than apostles.
Yeah, but then so basically the setup now is that he could sacrifice Thresia to have his wish granted. It's fun. I actually wrote down in my notes. The next two notes here is just like, will the Count sacrifice Thresia? And then like 5 seconds later, I had to type no.
Yeah, you learned that like that like even the Count has a breaking limit, and he's like, no, I just can't do it. I love her too much to do that to her. She's innocent.
And he gets dragged down to hell.
And then the Count gets dragged down to hell, and they even try and
by
go
a bunch
for
of
Guts.
he gets dragged down by a bunch of dead people, at the forefront of which is Vargas. So Vargas gets his final revenge, as he's part of the army of dead, and then they go for
that
Guts.
Sequence
also,
looks so fucking sick.
That was a fucking amazing sequence.
The fucking weird like whirlpool, and then like a tower of like corpses like coming. It's so cool. And they just kind of like grab the Count and just like fuck off. But they do try and go for Guts, and then Guts manages to deter them with a cannon arm. And then Guts, Puck, and Theresia are just returned to the normal world. The God Hand live another day, even though Guts is angry. Oh, he didn't deter the demons with a cannon blast. He was aiming for Griffith, and it just so happened to like get the demon tower thingy off of him. So that was just kind of like a last gambit.
He just really wanted to fuck up Griffith.
This is another thing we see later on, but Guts is just surprisingly lucky. Like I say lucky, like in terms of like he always manages to live just somehow by luck. Like it was not his intention to live, but he just so happened to. And then the return to the real world. And then probably my favorite scene in the entire Black Swordsman arc plays. I say plays. Do you know what I'm... do you want to give a description?
In the manga.
Do you want to give a description of what happens?
No, you go ahead.
So basically, after the return to the normal world, we see the Count's corpse, but it's returned to its human form. And then Theresia sees it, and she just starts bawling.
Oh, shit! I forgot for a second what the scene was, which is why I told you to subscribe it, but now I remember.
You want to do it?
Go
for it.
So, Theresia comes across, or sees the Count's corpse. She starts crying, she starts freaking out, she's very upset by this. She just wants to go back to her room. She's real fucked up.
I want to go back to my room.
And Puck is like trying to help her, but she's swatting him away. Not a big fan of Puck anymore. And Guts shows up. And she's like, I'm gonna kill myself. And Guts like, no, she's like, I want to die. And then Guts is like, just kill yourself then.
Like he literally tosses her a knife and is like, go ahead. Tosses her a knife and says,
go ahead, do it. And Guts gives this whole big speech about like how it doesn't matter, and she might as well just do it. She might even get it to heaven. Who knows?
Yeah, it'll all be war. Yeah, it'll all be over. At the end of your worries, you'll probably end up in heaven. You might even get to see your mother and father. Or would you prefer hell? At least that way you might get to see your mother and father. And then he says, "It's your life. Do what you want with it."
Yeah, he says, it's your life, do what you want with it. And then Theresia decides to go on living and dedicates her life to killing Guts.
No.
What are you talking about?
She then picks up the knife and really considers it. And then the ground beneath her starts to collapse. And
I forgot about this.
And then Guts holds up the Dragon Slayer for her to like grab onto, which cuts her hand, but like Guts like then lifts her up to safe ground. And then that's when Theresia gets mad at Guts, saying it's all because of you.
Well, I mean, she's not mad at Guts for saving her. She's mad at Guts that he caused all of this, which she had that feeling in the first place. But yeah, she considers killing herself, but then she decides to keep on living and dedicates her life to killing Guts. And Guts is like, I'm ready anytime. And that scene was fucking sick. I loved the sentiment behind that. Where like in like a weird fucked up way, it's like the weird fucked up version of a Naruto talk no jutsu, where he does the opposite. He's just like, yeah, just kill yourself, bitch.
But do you notice like his specific like wording is meant to get Theresia mad at him, so that anger is redirected from herself to him. Like I don't know if I'm reading too deep into this, but I think Guts like wanted her to like not kill herself and like instead be mad at him.
Yes, I think that is exactly what they were going for here, is that Guts was trying to convince her not to kill herself and using the method of making her very mad at him.
Yeah. So like,
and then she dedicates her life to killing him, and he gives her a smirk, and he's like, well, anytime, I'm ready. And
then he walks away, and then we see Puck look at Guts. And Guts lets out it, and then we see Guts crying, seeing that was even too much for him.
It was rough. It was very rough.
like even that was like just like too much for Guts. Like even that crossed some sort of line, but like he did the tough part, and then that's where the Black Swordsman arc ends. But like that was like the panel where I was like, holy shit, I just want to know why he is the way he is. And then we get into Golden Age and we do see that.
And we see exactly why he is the way he is, folks.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm ready to experience more of this character in this story.
Yeah, we actually like, you know, see emotion in Guts. It's crazy.
So what I want to know, so Guts and Puck meet during the Black Swordsman arc.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get any Puck in the Golden Age arc? Because it's before they meet.
I will say there are mentions of characters who have met Puck, but we never actually, you only see him once, like in like one chapter. He just like, they pass by him without even knowing, and Puck is like, just like cracks some sort of joke, like with the people he's currently with. But he's essentially non-existent in the Golden Age, though. He's like nowhere near as important in the Golden Age.
All right.
Yeah. But he's not in the anime adaptations of the Golden Age either. But that was the Black Swordsman. What are your thoughts?
Very good arc. I guess small comparatively to most arcs, but those chapters, there were only 8 of them, but they were pretty long. Most of them were pretty fucking long. So
it gets shorter as the series goes on. The chapters get shorter.
Yeah, but this is really sick. I was, the first it's one of those things, right? Where like the first couple times you start it, you're like, I don't get it. You kind of put it down before it's hit its stride. But then there's that time you try it again, and it really gets you.
Yeah.
And that was
it
this.
Pisses me off that. It pisses me off that some people get into Berserk by skipping Black Swordsman and just immediately starting with Golden Age.
Which, I mean, I guess we'll see whether I feel like that's valid based on the quality of Golden Age, but the quality of Black Swordsman I think was very good.
I think it's okay to start with Golden Age and then go back to Black Swordsman, but to skip it entirely pisses me off.
Well, does Black Swordsman at all feel like jarring? Because you said it was like overly edgy compared to the rest. So if you read Golden Age first and then went back to Black Swordsman, would that feel jarring, you think?
No, because then like the reason I say that is because like we don't have any like reason to see why Guts is so edgy. Golden Age gives us that reason, but I think it's great to start off with like this cruel man, and then we see why he is the way he is, and then we go back, and then we jump back to where he is, and I think that's like fucking great. But like some people just skip it all together, and like, but I think it is cool to start with Golden Age because you are still seeing why he is edgy.
Fair.
But also something that pisses me off is that chapter volume 3 doesn't end with chapter 8. It ends with chapter 9. that
is a little weird. Well, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. It's like they give you the end of the arc, and then they kind of give you like the beginning teaser for the next
a little
arc.
bit.
They give you a little bit of a ball tickle. That's right.
Yeah, they grab your testicles and ask you to cough for them. First chapter of Golden Age is also pretty long.
Well, I guess we'll see how long it was next time.
Yeah. But do we have it to do like a number rating, anything like that?
Do you wanna?
I'm asking you. This is your show. You said this was like a review, so.
Well, yeah, like a discussion, a review. I figured we'd talk about how we felt about it as we went through them, which we did.
I'd say that the Black Swordsman arc succeeds in like hooking in the player. Hooking in the reader.
My favorite video game, Guts.
Hooking in the reader and like just making sure like everything's like, you know, being like, this is the story, get ready. This is kind of like a prologue to a much bigger story. And I think it does a really good job, and I give it a 7 out of 10. The only reason I'm deducting 3 points, I'm deducting 2 because it is very edgy. Like, to be fair, like even compared to the rest of the series, it's very edgy. And another point is deducted because the art. I do think the art is a little jarring in the first few chapters, but it gets really good the second you get into Golden Age.
It's a little jarring, but I think it's jarring in a cool way. So I forgot that like reviews have rating systems. So here's what I want to do. I just came up with the idea in my head that the gears started turning.
Are we
so
gonna do
in
a tier
most,
list?
no, we're not doing a fucking tier list. In most of these videos, what we'll do is like as we go through the individual, like each of the 3 chapters, we will rate each of them out of 10. But I think for this particular episode, because we went through the whole first arc, we can just rate the arc out of 10. And with that in mind, I give the Black Swordsman arc an 8. Like, this is a very strong opener. I'm very excited to see what comes next. The art might have been a little jarring at times, but it was also really fucking cool. The fights were amazing. It didn't feel too... It was, like, gory and, like, nudity and shit, but it didn't feel too in your face, you know? It wasn't, like, unreasonable. Like shows that are kind of designed to be, like, unreasonably gory or, like, raunchy. It didn't feel like that. It felt like a very realistic amount of, like, gore and raunchiness for, like, a world of this caliber. It was very good. The strong 8 out of 10. I'm excited to see what comes next. I'm excited to see what comes next. And yeah, that's it.
1, 2, 3. So from chapters I0 to 94 is the Golden Age arc, which is it's a long arc. And so next up is the Golden Age arc. Many people consider it to be the best arc of Berserk. Will Riely agree? I don't know. He might.
I guess you'll have to find out as we go on.
I'll tell you one thing. It is the best coming of age story ever.
All right. We'll have to see if that's true. I've seen a lot of coming of age stories that I truly adore in a lot of ways.
Name one name what's your current favorite.
Listen. I don't know if you could tell. But I'm not working at 100% right now. I could not give you an example that I'm confident in. I can't name a favorite, but like coming of age stories are like some of my favorite tropes, and like there are a lot that I hold in high regard.
Yeah.
So
I hold on, before we do end, I want to ask you a very important question. How old do you think Guts is?
I don't know, like 25.
Most people think he's in his like 30s. He is like around 21, 22 in the Black Swordsman arc. He looks really old, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does look pretty old.
It's mostly because he's covered in scars the entire time, but just understandable.
Well, I guess my favorite coming of age story in anime, at least. I know you're gonna cringe, Jason. This is more for the audience than for you. Maybe some will agree. I guess Gohan from Dragon Ball Z is probably one of my favorite coming of age stories. Seeing him develop, he had a very strong development that had a very good payoff at the end of the Cell Saga. That's probably one of my favorite coming of age stories in anime and manga. So we'll see if I think the Guts story is better than the Gohan story.
It is.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, thank you for watching this first manga discussion video. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Again, this is way longer than the rest will be.
Yeah, well, the other ones are going to be like 30 to 45 minutes or thereabouts. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do all the dumb shit that YouTube wants you to do. Ring that bell. Ring that fucking bell. What are we? Yeah, ring that bell. I don't know.
Yeah.
YouTube shit. I'm trying to get better at like YouTube call to actions. Yeah. Yes. Subscribe to Ch.a also, who is my co-host on this show. He's linked in the description twice, both as today's friend and the editor. So yeah, you have ample access. Or you could just type into youtube.com/Ch.a into your fucking browser.
That is JELEEOO.
Yeah, there you go, folks. Tune in for more Berserk reviews. These are supposed to come out every 2 weeks, give or take. So get excited. And yeah, thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.